day 3 here in Pinerolo, Italy. That means one thing, it's finals day of the two-wheel drive EFRA 1/10 Off-Road Championships. Get to qualifying and the finals in just a moment, but first of all, DC spoke to EFRA's very own Paul Worsley to find out what actually goes on behind the scenes in technical inspection.
Just talk us through the scrutineering process, Paul.
Okay, the scrutineering process for 1/10 off-road, we make as simple as we can. We don't have anything like as many features that have to be checked that some of the classes do. Our motors in off-road, the power of a motor is not really important, especially when you're on a clay track, because we've always got more power than what we need anyway. So basically the technical side of a 10th off-road car is a lot easier than other sections. So the things that we are checking first is that all the items used on the car for the point of view of motors and batteries are approved items, that they've been checked and homologated by EFRA, so that only motors and batteries on the homologation list can be used. We do that in the day before we start the event, so it eases the situation, and all those items are then marked, so being compliant with the homologation lists. We do similar for the wings and the chassis. They're all marked so that we all know that they've been checked already, so we don't have to check them for each run. That simplifies the check for each race, because effectively all we've got to do is check the voltage of the battery to make sure the voltage is not too high, check the weight of the car to make sure that it's not too low, check the width of the car in a simple aluminium box to make sure the car is within the dimensions. That's all that has to be done, just those 3 things.
Okay, so you've said quite a bit of information there, very well said, I might say. So if you just have a look down here, this is our technical box that the car has to fit in. And it looks a simple box, but it's a little bit more than that, about dimensions and accuracy.
Yeah, it is a little bit more. It's a box that I made in 2011. It was first used at the World Championships in Finland in 2011. It's all marked up with its sizes. The maximum width of a car for a 1/10 off-road is 250 millimeters. That's the maximum width at any point of the suspension travel, so therefore the absolute maximum. And the box is just a few, it's 0.15 of a millimeter over on dimension, because I have to make a box that will accommodate cold temperatures or hot temperatures.
There's a good example of a car going through. Sorry to interrupt you, Paul.
Yeah, so the scrutineer here is checking the width of the car back and front. Most of the cars have got a reasonable amount of clearance in the box, so it's a very quick check. But occasionally we get one through that is close to maximum width, so at that point the technical officer will have to flex the suspension to find the widest point. If the car sticks in the box and doesn't drop, it's obviously too wide and it fails.
Okay, then over here we have the scales, and I would assume that it's a similar type of thing with our scales?
Yes, the scales. These days with off-road cars, most of the cars are way over the minimum weight, because they usually find the cars that are slightly heavier, especially if they have the weight low down, the car will handle slightly better. So very little problem these days with the car failing on weight.
Okay, fair enough. And then if you have a look down here, we have a bunch of measuring devices. I didn't see them use them on the car as they went through scrutineering. What are these used for, Paul?
Okay, well, these are the measuring gauges that I made some years ago for doing the checks that I described earlier that we do the day before to save time. So we check all the batteries for passing through the gauge as regards the width of the battery, and more importantly the height of the battery. And there's another gauge for checking the overall length of the battery. And we do all that in the day before, and then we mark those batteries and seal the marking so that we don't have to do it each time when they're coming through tech before going on the track to race. It saves a lot of time during the racing days, so we do it in the practice day. And you've got similar for the wings. The wings have got a maximum width and they've got a maximum chord dimension, so there's gauges there for checking those. And again, we do those in the day before we start racing. Mark the wings, we know they've been checked by the mark, don't have to do it today.
Thanks for that, DC. It's great to see Paul's knowledge and years worth of experience and how they go into the technical inspection and ensure that the EFRA races are fair and equal for everyone. So, qualifying, how did that go today?
Well, it was an interesting start to the day with the track being slower after practice. So in round 4 of qualifying, Martin Bayer took it in a slower time. So we had to go to the 5th round to decide the overall TQ. It was Ungaro who would come out on top, but in a slower time, and that meant Lee Martin was overall TQ.
Awesome, and this set us up for a great day of racing. In fact, it took all 3 rounds to decide who was going to be the winner. So let's take a look.
The first A final 2-wheel drive European Championships 2019 underway. A great start from Lee Martin. Into the far side of the track now. Davide had to check up a bit over the J Concepts jump for the first time. Into the A main hobbies, and Lee Martin gets it all wrong. A champion's tumble, lands on his wheels, dropping down to 5th. Stick with the front of the field now. Ungaro in the lead. Bayer, then it's Hottanen, Newman, and Lee Martin, but Noren makes a mistake, so Martin up to 4th now. I think Lee's a bit fortunate that his car didn't break underneath the EFRA crossover. And Ungaro style marks over the corner tabletop, up over the big jump one more time, opening up a bit of a gap on Bayer in 2nd and Hottanen in 3rd. I'll give you the time gap as they come across the line, or I won't. Timing screen's off here, James. We'll try to get that fixed, thank you. So Ungaro opening up a bit of a gap, and as I look out the window, Lee Martin is over again. So a nightmare first final for Lee Martin. Thank you, sir. The gap is about 1.5 seconds for Ungaro over Bayer, and as you look back out, you would have seen that on screen. Hopefully, drop back to the next battle, please. That would be the green car of Hottanen and Bayer. Bayer just having a champion's roll, dropping from 2nd to 3rd. New gap now is 2.1 seconds for Ungaro over the young Finnish superstar Una Hottanen, and Bayer, I want to say it's from the Czech Republic. I hope that's right. Maybe Slovakia. We're following this battle for 2nd. Ungaro's already out over the A-Main Hobbies triple and over the line, and it looks like Una's getting a little bit better of Bayer at the moment. The gap is 2.3 seconds from Ungaro to Una Hottanen. So we have 2 associated buggies out in front. We have 2 minutes and 55 seconds left to go. And Ungaro looking strong at the moment over the J Concepts jump. And the A main Hobbies triple, although Hottanen looking a little bit closer. And indeed he is 1.7 seconds now. Last lap for Hottanen was... Hang on a second. It's Orlowski, yeah. I've been saying the wrong car the whole time. Dope. It is Orlowski in 2nd. Orlowski making a mistake, putting on the quickest lap of the heat. Last time around was a 29.3. I've just been corrected by all the people sit outside my window. Even I got it wrong. Jesus. Ungaro in the lead. We have Orlowski on camera, where you can see Bayer just in the background. Shows you I'm just calling this race leaning out the window. Hadn't hardly looked at the screens. And with that little mistake last time round for Orlowski, means that the lead for Ungaro has increased. The first 3 are a little bit spread out now. 1 minute 39 on the race clock. So it is 2.2 second lead for Ungaro over Orlowski. Down the main straight. Go ahead and go forward 1 car to Ungaro, please. Barring a mistake, I do not think Orlowski has the pace to catch up to Ungaro with just 1 minute and 10 seconds on the race clock. Although he is looking a bit closer now. 1.7 second lead. We're going to keep our eyes out the window on Ungaro and Orlowski. Try to give you all the best information. Now I've got it straight in my mind. Underneath the EFRA crossover, heading towards the far corner, lining up the JE Concepts jump into the A-Main Hobbies triple. No trouble there for these top 3 drivers in the first A final. 40 seconds on the clock now, and it looks like the gap between Ungaro and Orlowski has stabilized. A little mistake for Bayer. Marshall went running, but Bayer carried on underneath the EFRA crossover. And a mistake for Ungaro. He's going to need marshalling, and Orlowski now in the lead. We are going to have one last lap shootout. Does Ungaro have any sort of extra pace to try to close in on Orlowski? Over the EFRA crossover they go. Tricky double now, hanging a right. A little bit wide there for Ungaro. On the step down now, and down the main straight they go. Time is up. They are racing to the line. Double single now under the EFRA crossover. Bayer's hoping for some scraps. Got himself back in contention here. And the J Concepts jump. Ungaro's looking quick. Nearly landed on Orlowski, but that's how it's going to finish. Orlowski, Ungaro, Bayer. Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to Elliot after this one. We are underway here in the A-Main number 2. Lee Martin making a good start this time with a determined looking car. Over the J Concept jump for the first time, and the A-Main Hobbies triple. No trouble through. Looking at all the drivers have made it through. So it is Lee Martin and Ungaro, then Bayer, I'll get it right this time, Orlowski and Cragg, and then Unihaten and Ronafalk, and Newman Savoya with Clement Boda. Underneath the EFRA crossover, into the far corner, lining up the J Concept jump. Lee Martin has gapped Ungaro just a little bit. And trouble for Orlowski, casing the A-Main triple, so now Neil Cragg up to 4th. Just about 1 minute gone, 4 minutes to go. So coming on to the main straight now. Still Lee Martin with Ungaro right with them. Bayer there as well. Then a tiny gap back to Neil Cragg in 4th. And that is definitely Unihaten now up to 5th. So more trouble for Orlowski here in the second leg. Over the EFRA crossover they go. Tricky double now. Hanging a right. Heading for the step down. Lee Martin in the lead. Ungaro 2nd. Bayer 3rd. 3.5 minutes to go. Double single under the EFRA crossover now. Still the same running order. And it looks like Neil's closing in on this 4-way battle for the win now. Little nose high for Cragg over the A-Main triple. At the front, though, Lee Martin has not put a wheel wrong. On the step down, now they go. They close together just a bit. 3 minutes left. Double single. Martin, Ungaro, Bayer, Cragg, then a bit of a gap back to Unihaten. And it's looking a little bit risky here with the cars so close together on the big jump, but they're all through safely. A little bit of a heavy landing for Ungaro. Bayer looking for a way past, but there wasn't enough room. These guys giving each other good amount of space. And Lee Martin making another mistake in that one is going to end up in 4th now. So it is Ungaro in the lead, Bayer 2nd, Neil Cragg up to 3rd, and Lee Martin 4th with Unihaten in 5th. 2 minutes 20 left. And Ungaro looking like he's going to turn on the power and try to open up a bit of a gap to Bayer in 2nd, who has his wing mirrors full of Neil Cragg now. The gap last time across the line was 1 second between Ungaro and Bayer. Into the double single they go. Underneath the EFRA crossover. Corner tabletop into the far corner, lining up the J Concepts jump for Ungaro and the A-Main Hobby triple. You can pretty much see all the action. Drop back to the battle just behind them, please. Thank you, Zach. 1 minute 35 left. And a little bit of a mistake for Craig is going to let Martin back up to third. Lee Martin, that is, because Martin Bayer is in second. Ongaro has got a, I don't want to say comfortable, but as comfortable as you'd hope for with this level of competition as they are coming across the line now. The gap between Ongaro and Bayer is right at 2 seconds. And follow that battle of three cars. Good work. Oh, and that was, looked like, well, I don't know what I want to say. Looked like Orlowski. But it was indeed Unihotonen making a little mistake. 45 seconds to go now. Ongaro over the EFRA crossover. Bayer in second. Then a battle for third between all right. Okay, well, I have to look out the window and call it because the timing screen is wrong. But there is 15 seconds on the clock. Yeah. There's nothing we could do. Nothing we could do. So I've been calling it out the window most of the time. I'll carry on doing that. This is the last lap. Davide Ongaro down the main straight for the final time. Time has expired over the double single. Go forward, please, to the car going to the far corner. Here it is. Davide Ongaro up over the J Concepts jump into the A main hobbies triple. Coming around, big heavy landing, and he's going to take the win in A main number 2. A final number 3 underway. Lee Martin from the pole makes a good start underneath the EFRA crossover for the first time into the J Concepts jump. And the A main hobbies triple. Already Lee, Martin, and Ongaro making a bit of a break over Bayer. Into the tricky double they go. And up the inside is Ongaro on Lee Martin. Ongaro had better drive. Lee ran a bit wide, and Martin went down from first to second, while Ongaro taking up the lead. And massive air from Ongaro over the line. Still over 4 minutes to go. Bayer third, Orlowski fourth, Craig in fifth, Ronafalk right there in sixth. Down the main straight they go. Over the double single. Under the EFRA crossover. And Bayer looking to get past Lee Martin now. Over the A main hobbies triple, and Lee Martin having trouble again. So Bayer and Orlowski get past Lee Martin. Stick with this battle for second, please, Zach. 3.5 minutes to go. Your leaders down the main straight. Last time around when they crossed the line was over a 3 second lead over the J Concepts jump. A main hobbies triple. And Bayer casing it, and the marshal just can't get there. So Bayer's going to be out of it for the win now. It's going to be down to Ongaro or Orlowski as they're down the main straight. And we are watching Orlowski. Ongaro's already just about to cross the line as Orlowski goes over the J Concept jump and the A main hobbies triple, but he made a mistake just before the line. The car spun around. And no one is going to step up and challenge Davide Ongaro at the moment. So it's Ongaro's race to lose. Had over a 5 second lead last time across the line. Neil Craig in third, trying to close up on Orlowski. Orlowski in a bit of a lonely second, but not as lonely as Ongaro out in front. And they all just not a whole lot of close racing, kind of going around line astern here. 1 minute 55 left. Ungaro's already over the A main hobbies triple as Orlowski just does the J concepts jump and the A main hobby triple. Let's go forward one car on the step down now, please. 1 minute 35 left. And we'll finish this one off with Ungaro in the lead. No one has challenged him here in this third leg once he got in the lead. He has over a 5-second lead with 1 minute 15 on the clock. Over the EFRA crossover. Tricky double now, hanging a right, heading towards the step down. And another right, and down the main straight goes Ongaro. 1 minute left. Into the far corner. J Concepts jump. A main hobbies triple. Beautifully done there for Davide Ongaro as he starts another lap with 45 seconds to go. Orlowski still in a solid second. Lee Martin up to third with Cragg, Hothenen, Savoya, Ronafalk, and Newman and Boda. At the front, though, coming around to start his last lap now, Davide Ongaro trying to win his first European Championships ever right here, right now, in the 1/10 off-road class. Down the main straight for the last time. He hangs a right now, up over the double single, taking a left underneath the EFRA crossover, heading towards the far corner, and lining up the J Concept jump for the last time. A main hobbies triple, coming around to take the overall win, Davide Ongaro.
Such a shame there to see Lee Martin suffer from those unforced errors, but as usual, Ongaro took the opportunity and just sailed away into the distance, taking the championship. We're back tomorrow with the start of the four-wheel drive, so let's see if we can do it there again. Tune in tomorrow and let's find out.